What is up, dudes? My name's Andy. Welcome back to some more Steins Gate Zero. You may be wondering, why are you going so fast? You just came back. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm glad to see you guys again. Welcome back. It's all good to know. Good to see you again. When we left off, a lot of stuff happened. It's been a while. I was voice bad. I have done this already, so I'm going to pretty much. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's do it. Yeah, I did. Something happened and it was like OBS was like, graphics card error, you're stupid, we're gonna delete this file, and all, you know, that 30 minutes of recording you did doesn't matter, you're stupid. And I was like, oh wow, thank you so much. That is so kind. Wow. Because I have all the time in the world to do everything. You're right. Thanks, OBS. You're awesome. Fucking love you. As soon as she got inside, Dr. Leskin rushed over, his face pale. Place has been ransacked. Of course, the place barely had anything in it to begin with, so with a quick glance, you could see what had changed. You couldn't see what had changed, but it's not much worse than Moho's room. It's actually a lot better. They did her justice. But Moho and Dr. Leskin's desk had clearly been searched. The drawers had been locked, but the locks had been broken and their contents spilled out. Dr. Reyes hadn't brought much of anything, fortunately, so she'd escaped with very little damage. Whoa, weird, huh? But her drawers had been dumped out, too. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip. I'm just trying to hurry on to where I was. Shut up. Me mocking you, Reyes. Wouldn't it make more sense to hit the Riken Institute next door? Only a few people even know of this office that existed. Suddenly, Okabe's words began to take a much new meaning, but more meaning new, take on a new meaning to her. Could this have something to do with what he said? Was the secret war over the time machine already beginning? I meant to click with my right hand, I clicked with my left. I was clicking on something, so it doesn't matter. Nope. She checked the desk and the drawers and couldn't find a single thing missing. I wonder who done it. No, it's in my apartment. Who are you gonna call? Mahal wasn't sure that was a good idea, but she could understand that going to the police would be a big hassle, especially since they weren't Japanese to begin with. And more than anything, Dr. Leskin probably didn't want to lose time that could be spent on research. The same was true of Mahal, too. Sorry guys for rushing and everything. It's just, you know how it is when you've already done a part and you don't feel like doing it and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And you, also, I would feel like doing it, guys. I would feel like giving it my all and everything again, but like, my idiot self didn't decide to save every time I ended up the part. So what I had to do is figure out how in the world I got to this world line, because I didn't know. Because my last save wasn't on this world line, so I had to go like searching through videos and stuff. And if I didn't have videos, I probably wouldn't have figured out how to do it. I probably would have stopped playing the game. But I would have definitely looked it up somewhere, because if I didn't make videos, then I would have no idea what to do. But whatever, it's just a real moment with you guys. It was really aggravating, and I know it sounds very petty, but it was just I was like, you know, I was really into it and everything. It was on like a really emotional part and everything, and then boom, it was like the screen went totally black and I could barely, the game audio went in and out, and then like the OBS was like, oh, your graphics card sucks, and I was like, oh, thanks, cool, glad I got this 970 for no fucking reason apparently, because it breaks down all the time. And like, I've never had that problem with the one I had before, which was something old, like it was a 750 Ti or whatever. It's like really cheap and stupid, and it never had, OBS never had any problems with that one, but it has problems with, sorry guys, sorry. I'll stop talking and I'll play the game. Dr. Leskinen agreed to give her a vacation much more readily than she expected. Maybe coming to the office over New Year's had paid off. Now that she'd be able to focus on the time leap machine. When she got back to her hotel room, she quickly got her things ready. And I'm also sorry about it, like, you know, I just came back and then it's me being frustrated, and so you guys have to, this is my coming back. I'm sorry about that. But I wanted to get a video out today, because I said I would, and I didn't want you guys to be, some of you probably would think it's better, like, you know, just leave it. Just wait till tomorrow and wait till you're, like, in good condition and everything and all that. But I feel like I've already delayed it enough. So, I hope this is... I'm trying my best. She wasn't checking out of the hotel, but she needed clothes and other things so she could stay at the lab for a while.
Yoshi.
Once she finished packing her bag, she grabbed another bag that was placed next to it. It was a laptop and a portable hard drive that she'd gotten from Kudise's mother after her death. She tried many times to crack the password, but never managed to succeed. She knew that she wouldn't have time to do anything with it, but she still didn't want to leave it here. After she made one last check of her things and got ready to leave the room, an idea came to her. Not a bad idea, if I do say so myself. Maybe this is what Kudise wanted. She quickly shook her head and chased out the idea from her mind. Kudise would get mad at her. Life and death were like a binary, 0 and 1. You could be one or the other. There was no will that existed after death, if it existed at all. It existed inside the brain. What a fun life. Life is binary. Yay, we're all coming again! I can't do high-pitched, because my voice isn't fully back yet, but, you know. Several days passed, and I still had no idea who had planted the memories in Kagari's head. Went all the way out to talk to the priest who'd found her, and even questioned locals in the surrounding area, but I had no luck. Suzawa seemed to be doing her own research. She hadn't been back to the lab since then. She was in touch with Daru at regular intervals, so I didn't think she was in danger. As to Noji and Moika again, but neither of them seemed to have any luck. In this world line, the lab hadn't even been attacked, which meant they might be up to something else. Even if they were, I had no way of even imagining what it was. But I was sure that someone had kidnapped a young Kagari Shina and experimented on her, and only recently had she escaped. That they had been planning on something, and I was sure it was bad. We didn't have time to wait for them to act. But without any clues, there was nothing we could do. My mind kept going in circles, and I kept getting more frustrated and nervous with every minute. Fun!
真帆先輩、私のために。あと少しでできそうだから。それに、これは私のためでもあるんだし。
Maul staggered out of the development room, sank into the sofa, and smiled sleepily. There were dark spots under her eyes. She had been sleeping for 3 or 4 days, which is crazy, and she probably has brain damage. She'd been working on the device without any sleep. Her work needed to pay off soon, as fast as possible.
それにしても、携帯電話を使うだなんて普通考えないわ。
When you're talking on a cell phone, you always need to put it up to your temples, you know?
こめかみ周辺には大脳前頭葉と大脳側頭葉がありますからね。
Oh, sorry. If you thought of the idea to use a cell phone, why would you not even try it? You're a scientist. Why wouldn't you try all possibilities? If something fails, if everything else is failing, try using the thing you thought of. Why would you not try this thing that you thought of?
側頭葉の海馬傍回が記憶を貯蓄する場所だと考えると妥当な判断かと。
問題はどうやって記憶を圧縮させるかよね。
それについてはもっか僕が毎日徹夜で頑張ってるわけだが。
Sorry, Daru. Sorry, Daru.
しかもハッキングがここからだって絶対にバレないようになんて言うから大変だっつうの。
I cheated that one
他のバ
time.
イトだってあるのにさ。
I cheated, okay? Yes, I played through this already. Originally I said thank you, Daru, and then he said sorry, and I was like, well, sorry too, and all that kind of stuff. To compress the memories, we needed CERN's to LHC, no matter what. It was a hard thing. That one took a lot of thought. It made an enemy out of CERN, that tragedy I'd gone through before we would repeat. The main reason that CERN had attacked us was the emails we'd sent to the past. If it weren't for that, they probably wouldn't have bothered. And since we weren't sending D-mails, CERN would probably never even detect us. Probably. Fortunately, Suzo had the IBM 5100 that we needed for the hack. Things were coming together better than I expected.
にしてもさ、オカリン、彼女ほんと別人みたいなんですけど。
I know, right? She's acting like... Curice. You're right. And now that Daru. For the past few days, more of Curice's memories had been invading Kaguri's mind. Lately, she'd even started discussing complex technical subjects with Mahal. I mean, she's had full sentences. That means she's had like at least somewhat of a conversation. And by somewhat, I mean like, I know they said discussing complex technical subjects. What I mean by somewhat of a conversation is at least they had, well, discussing. That's like, I feel like that's a while of talking. She was acting just like Curice used to when she lived in America. How did you know that? At first, Mahal seemed put off, but she eventually adapted. Mahal probably wanted to get details about the device from Curice, so it seemed to be helping.
それにしてもこんなラボで本当にタイムリープマシンを作ってたなんて。
What are you saying about my lab? My lab's awesome.
でも人間の記憶を丸ごとデータ化して過去に飛ばすなんて発想はすごいですよね。さすが。
その言葉そっくりそのままあなたに返してあげるわ。
はい。
あなたは天才で所詮私はサリエリだったってことよ。
Watching the two of them was easy to fool myself into thinking that it was Mahal and Curice talking. Hey, Kaguri.
そうだ、アマデウスで思い出しましたけど、プロジェクトはどうなってるんですか？
残念ながら凍結されたわ。
Kaguri.
凍結？どうして？もしかしてレスキネン教授が決めたんですか？
私にもわからないわ。教授はもっと上からの指示だって言ってたけど。
そんな、せっかく順調に言ってたの。
Hey, Curice.
はい？あれ？私、今。
You're Kaguri. Shina Kaguri, right?
シーナ・カガリ。そう。私はシーナ・カガリ。私は。
Kaguri suddenly put her hands up to her head. Afraid.
でも、それじゃあ、これは。この頭の中にある記憶は何？
They're Makise Curice's memories, not yours.
そんなこと言われてもわかんないよ。
Kaguri was acting completely different now that she was just a few moments ago with Mahal. She raised her voice like a child throwing a tantrum.
だって、私にとっては、私の記憶でしかないんだもん。マユリンママたちとの記憶も、子供の頃のパパとの記憶も、アメリカの大学での出来事も、全部、私の中にあるんだもん。どれが本当で、どれか嘘かなんて、私、わかんないよ。
Her words turned to sobs. I could understand how she felt. From her perspective, it was all real. None of it was fake. It was easy to tell her that to get a hold of herself. But it wasn't that easy for her to actually do it. Remember what Curice had said when she finished the time leap machine. She said you could never put your memories inside someone else's mind. It would destroy their personality. But if we were to leave Kaguri like this, what would happen? There was a chance that her own memories would disappear and only Kurisa's would remain. If that happened, who would the person in front of me become? Would they be Kagari? Or would they be Kurisa? It was Kurisa. That wasn't true. It was impossible. Couldn't even think about it. The more I thought, the more I felt a horrible idea tugging at my mind, no matter how much I tried to ignore it.
私どうしたらいいの？助けて、ママ、パパ。
Would have been great if my Ori was around, but unfortunately both she and Lukaku had gone to school. Both of them were worried about Kagari and had told me to contact them if anything came up, but that didn't mean I could rely on them all the time.
かがりたん、ちょっと気分転換に散歩でもしてきたらどう？
そうね。人間じっとしてると余計なこと考えちゃうものよ。
というわけでオカリン、かがりたんを頼んだ。
Right. Okay. Two of us walked out of Central Street together. We didn't really have anything to do. Go out to eat or something. The air outside must have made her feel a little bit better, because Kagari was starting to calm down. So, is there someplace you'd like to go?
どこでもいいの？
Yeah, anywhere you want.
それじゃあ、クリスさんと行ったところに連れてってほしい。
What?
オカリンさんがクリスさんと歩いたことのある場所に連れて行って。
Somewhere I'd been with Kuris? What could that be? Coin laundry in the neighborhood? Orien Park? Guild Ensemble? I didn't spend a lot of time with her at fun or romantic places. Spent a lot of time with her, but most of it had disappeared into many different world lines. I'd gone through the time and again. But most of it had been spent arguing and working with her at the lab. We'd never spent any time going to places to have fun. We never made it to Aomori either.
オカリンさんがクリスさんと初めて会ったのはどこ？
Where we first met.
私、そこに行きたい。
Place where Kuris and I had met. It was Radio Kaikon.
ここが？
Brightly colored building in front of Akihabara Station. The radio building. This was where it started. Yeah, this is where everything had begun. On that day, the time machine appeared on the roof of the building. Just after that, when I met Kurisu. Could still remember it. Challenging look in her eyes. Thinking back, I may had already fallen in love with her then. But even though this was the place I'd met her, this was also the place where I'd...
Okarin-san, どうしたの?
Sorry. Lately I've been so busy with Kokiri that I started to think I was getting a little better. But maybe I wasn't.
汗すごい。ごめん。もしかして私のせい?
No, that's not it. It's just... Whenever I came here, I couldn't help but remember what happened that day. Let's go.
いいの?
I'm fine. I couldn't just stand out here forever. Couldn't keep my Ori Toru and the others worrying forever. I need to get over it at some point, then.
わかった。それじゃあ、行こう。
Something soft touched my head. Kagari was holding my hand tightly in hers. Thank you. Kagari led me down the bustling street towards the radio building. My knees felt like they were about to give out in a second. Even after I'd gone inside, I was still doing better than I had thought I would. But I still didn't feel like climbing the stairs where it had happened. We took the elevator to the roof. Bari Seike Rumiho Kia. It carefully locked the door to the roof so that no one who wasn't authorized could get in. I'd been given a key too, but today was the first time I was able to use it. We haven't been up here since. I haven't been up here at all. The first person we've been up here with is Kagari. He's the only person who could have done it. Huh. First thing I saw after coming onto the roof was a strangely shaped object, the time machine.
懐かしい。これこれ。私、これに乗ってきたんだよ。
Kagari happily ran up to the time machine. It was right after she separated from Suzuha that she'd lost her memories. Remember going from the future to this place in 1975.
初めてこのビルの上に降りた時にね、お空がすっごく綺麗でびっくりしたの。
Fortunately, it wasn't very pretty right now. It's about to rain.
私、ママと別れるのが嫌で、ずっとこのマシンの中で泣いてた。そんなことじゃダメだ。いつまでも泣くんじゃないって。そんな時に開いたハッチの外に見えたのが青い空だったの。
Sky in 2036 isn't blue?
うん。戦争の影響でね、ずっと黒くて暗い空。それに、外にもなかなか出してもらえないし。
The mid-70s were right after the big economic growth spurt. Ecological concerns weren't as important as they are now. That was also when air pollution was a really big deal. The air probably wasn't as clean as it is now. It seemed beautiful to her anyway. It must have meant the air in the future was really terrible.
オカリンさんはここでクリスさんと初めて会ったの？
No, this isn't it. This is...
お、
A cold drop hit my nose.
降ってきちゃった。
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
岡部か。
You're alive.
そっか。ここだとあんたと会っちゃう可能性があること忘れてた。
What were you doing?
考え事。
Oh. The rain had been falling then, too. When she'd learned that either she or Mayori was fated to die, she'd come here and looked up at the sky like this.
うわっ！すごい降ってきたよ。オカリンさん、中に。
Come on, dude, what are you doing? Get inside!
オカリンさん？
What had she been thinking then? When she'd entrusted her fate to another person? To me.
オカリンさんたら、このままじゃ風邪ひいちゃうよ。早くこっちに。
Kagari dragged me inside, away from the noise of the falling rain. Probably for the best, dude. We don't want you dying. Getting cold and, you know, all that kind of stuff getting so wet. You're probably drenched, dude. A few moments later, I found myself sitting there. The place was being renovated and none of the stores were open. Lights were off, too. It made the place seem very gloomy.
びっくり。
That day, after the rain, Chris and I had leaned up against each other and talked. This was also the place where... This is it. This is where I met Chris. Strictly speaking, this is where I'd first met her in the Beta World line. That day, half a year ago.
さっき、私に何を言おうとしたんですか？
What are you talking about?
ほんの15分くらい前、会見が始まる前に。私に何か言おうとしましたよね。すごく悲しそうな顔をして、まるで今にも泣き出しそうで。どうして？私、前にあなたと会ったことありますか？
Thinking back, that was the beginning of everything. I wish I'd never met her. If only I had known this would be the result. If I just never met her, I wouldn't have to feel this way.
オカリンさん、
I felt something soft touch my face. Kagari.
私が怖がっているとママがよくこうしてくれたの。
Why?
だってオカリンさんすごく辛そうで今にも泣き出しそうなんだもん。
Kagari patted me on the head again and again, as if I were a child. This is where I first met Kuris.
ここってこの踊り場？
Yeah. She left a horrible first impression. The first time she met me, she was arrogant and spent a lot of time glaring at me. Not cute at all. Of course, she probably felt the same way about me. After all, at the time I was rambling about nonsense like organization agents.
でもそれでもクリスさんはオカリンさんにとって大切な人になった。
That's right. That was in the Alpha World line, though. After I met Kuris in this one, she'd...
私の顔ってクリスさんによく似てるんだよね。
Quick sidebar, every other time in the game when they say their last name, they translate it to their first name, but this time, for some strange, odd reason, they translated it to... When she said the first name, they translated it to the last name, which makes absolutely no sense and no westernization at all. If anything, it's a kind of nobody. She's using the first name, then she's using the first name. That's just, I did. Moment ruined. Sorry, guys. Just write it back into it. How did you know?
真帆さんから聞いたの。
Another thing lost in translation. Kuris calls her Senpai Y, while Kagari calls her Moho. And so her personality, her memories were splitting at that point in time. But you couldn't notice it in the English if you just read it.
それでネットで調べてみたんだけど自分でもびっくりするくらい似てた。そんな人の記憶が私の中にあるなんてそれも運命なのかなって。
Fate. It always was. Fate laughed at us. It toyed with us.
ねえ、もしも。
Drop of rain ran down Kaguri's hair and hit the floor.
もしもね、椎名かがりの記憶がなくなって完全にクリスさんの記憶に、そしたら私は牧瀬クリスになっちゃうのかな。
It's not that simple.
でももしもだよ、もしもそうなるならオカリンさんは嬉しい？私がクリスさんになったらオカリンさんは嬉しい？
It was the voice of the demon I tried so many times to ignore. I didn't want that. Or did I?
でも私はやっぱり嫌だな。
Another drop of rain struck the floor.
このまま自分がどうやって生きてきたのかもわからないまま、誰からも必要とされないまま消えちゃうなんて。
Kagari.
私どうなっちゃうのかな。私は
Kagari was shaking a little. It wasn't just because of the cold.
ごめん。
No. Never did figure out what she was apologizing for. We're going to catch cold. Let's go home.
とにかく上がってください。
First time I went to Lukako's room, it really did look like a girl's room.
うわあ、二人ともずぶ濡れ。急いで着替えなきゃ。
Yanavashi's shrine was closer to the radio building than the lab, so I decided to bring Kagari there. Mayori had sent me a message on the way, so I'd had her come here first. Figured that Kogiri needed mommy Mayuri right now more than she needed me.
ママ。
Just like I thought. The second she saw Mayuri's face, she relaxed a little.
寒かったでしょ。お風呂沸かしてきますね。
Lukaku handed us towels to wipe away the rain and ran out of the room to start the bath.
お風呂、ママと一緒がいい。
もゆしと？いいよ。あ、でも、おかりんはどうする？
I'll join in, you know? Oh, I'm fine. You guys can go first.
ありがとう。おかりんも風邪ひいちゃうから、着替えだけでもしてね。
I'll work something out. Maybe I could borrow Lukaku's father's clothes. Just as I got up to leave the
か
room.
がりちゃん？どうしたの？かがりちゃん。
What was wrong with Kogiri? She was staring at Mayuri's face, confused. Kogiri?
誰？あなたは誰？
まゆしだよ。かがりちゃん。
かがり。私の。
Kogiri.
違う。私は誰なの？私は。
Kogiri tore at her hair and let loose a cry that sounded like it came from the pits of hell. Get a hold of yourself, Kogiri!
痛いよ、ママ。助けて。パパ、誰か、助けて。私を助けてよ。誰か、助け。かがりちゃん。
She was like a puppet whose strings had been cut. All the strength left her body and she fell forward. By the time I left Lukaku's house, the rain had stopped. We waited for a while after that, but Kogiri showed no signs of waking up. It looked peaceful as she was sleeping, so I decided to leave her to Mayuri and Lukaku and head back to the lab. According to the two of them, she'd gotten confused several times in the past. Never like this. We might have underestimated how dangerous her situation really was. Her brain was probably under a lot of stress already. We needed a way to deal with this, and now. But for that... You guys did it?! The second I opened the door, I heard Dodo and Maho yelling. Really? I ran inside without even taking the time to remove my shoes.
おかりん、なんつグッドタイミング。
岡部さん、びしょ濡れじゃない。
That doesn't matter. Did you guys pull it off?
むふ。
Dodo gave me a thumbs up. Nice work, Dodo.
スーパーハッカーなのだぜ。これくらい当然だっつーの。
That's it. He could say that, but I knew exactly how much talent and effort it took to hack CERN. Your average hacker couldn't do it. The name Super Hacker wasn't just for show. What about you, Hyato? Were you successful too?
私だって、これくらいどうってことなかったわ。
Well, stuck her thumb up just like Dodo had. Wow.
まあ、これも全部、あなたやかがりさんから情報を得られたからな。そういう意味では、かがりさんの中に、クリスの記憶が残っていて助かったわね。
No. You're the one who did the work.
ありがとう。その言葉、素直に受け取っておくわ。あとは実際にきちんと機能するかどうかが問題だけど、こればっかりは試してみるわけにもいかないのよね。
You're right.
僕はキッチン二郎3回な。
Sure thing. Anyway, everything was ready. All that was left was to find out who they were. But that was still the biggest problem.
それじゃ、私はちょっと眠らせてもらうわ。
The sound of ringing phone cut her off.
もう誰よ。 人がこれから寝ようって時に。
Who is it?
はい、もしもし。
She muttered to herself as she took the phone to the back of the development room.
で、係官の方はどうなん？
About that. Ah, just as I spoke, a Ryan message arrived. Whoa! Goodies woke up. She's calmed down. I let out a sigh of relief and sent back my answer. Got it. Sorry, can you look after her for a while? I'll contact you if I need you. It's not good, actually. She forgot who Mayori was today.
マジで。
That's not all. Right after that started, she complained about a horrible headache and passed out.
それ、まずくね？
It is. We need to do something. But unless we know who we are up against, there's nothing we could do.
本当ですか？
Goto and I exchanged glances at the sudden voice from the development room.
マホタン、どうしたん？
Something happened? We looked inside. Maho turned around in a safe shock.
荒らされたって。私の借りてたホテルの部屋。
Nothing new. Good thing nothing is in there. The call was from the hotel. Maho was staying at a business hotel in Wakwa City. Sometime in the past few days, while she'd been staying here, someone had ransacked it. She left her keycard with her at the front desk, but there were no signs of the lock had been picked. She'd just given her okay to search the room. So, did they find anything?
今から警察に連絡するから、何が盗まれてるか調べるためにも早く戻って。
じゃあ、何が取られたかわからんってこと？もしかして下着とかも？
You seem too excited about this, Doru.
そういうのは全部持ってきてるわよ。セクハラで訴えましょうか？
うひー、それだけは勘弁。
まあ、私の部屋って普段から散らかってるから、荒らされてるように見えただけって可能性もある。楽観的に考えればね。
Yeah, I bet they did you a service by ransacking it. Probably looks better now.
鍵が開けられてたって言うから、誰かが入ったのは間違いないでしょうけど、実はついこの間もオフィスの方が荒らされたことがあって。
It's not just a coincidence. Someone is after something you've got.
そうね。でも何を探しているのかは
What is it?
クリスのノート PC よ。
That. Putting all the pieces together, it seemed the most likely option. I could be sure that whoever tried to override Kaguri's memories was the same group that attacked her in the other world line. Whoever those people were, they were after the time machine theory hidden in Kuri's memories. But since their experiment had failed and Kaguri had escaped, they turned their attention to the other thing Kuris had left behind. The laptop and hard drive that Moho had. But if they were after that, did that mean they had it now?
つかその PC ってこの前マホタンが僕に託したやつ？
What?
実はね、どうしてもパスワードを解析したくて、ここにこもるようになってから橋田さんにお願いしたの。
Then the laptop.
無事のはずよ。
もちろん。今は僕の秘密のアジトにあるのだぜ。
Wait, what's your secret hideout, Doru?
つってもずっとセルのハッキングにかかりきりだったからまだパスワードは解析できてないけどね。
That made me feel a lot better. Now, if only we knew who had broken into her room, but it wouldn't be that easy. Still, if they'd done something like that, they must be starting to panic. What would they do next? Wait a second. We may be able to use this.
使えるって？
I didn't want to waste time explaining, so I just took out my phone and made the call. Several days later, Kaguri's condition was getting worse. Oh, what? We're Kaguri now? Staccato footsteps echoed through the darkness. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Akihabara got quiet early. The ever-busy electronic stores, the concert halls that were filled with cheers, the coffee shops that were full of laughter. All that gave way to silence as soon as night fell. A single set of footsteps walked slowly through the silence, never breaking rhythm. It belonged to a girl. It was dark, and so it was hard to see her clearly. It was very clear that she was acting strange. She had a cap pulled down over her face. Trying to avoid letting anyone see her, she walked. As if she was hiding from someone. As if someone was chasing her. And just as she was about to turn a corner, several men jumped out in front of her. The girl stopped in surprise. Suddenly, there were men behind her too. What? The outfit under her trench coat looks a lot like someone we know. Just saying. Just saying it might be that person. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe trying to pull a trick. Trying to find out who it is. We're using a decoy. I think we are. One of the men spoke. His Japanese was fluent, but if she listened carefully, she might have detected a trace of foreign accent. Whoa, that's not Suzuha! No way! The girl they called Kagari was helpless as they surrounded her. Woman? I mean, they called her Kagari, but the subtitle was saying woman. I wonder who that could be. One of the men thought to himself, this is the easiest job in the world. All they had to do was kidnap a single hopeless-looking girl. There was no need to bring this many people. No, it wasn't just him. Almost everyone there felt the same way. The men gradually began to close in. The girl simply stood there, afraid, and showed no signs of resistance. Afraid? Is she really, though? This was too easy. Just as the man smiled and reached out his hand. He thought he heard the sound of something slicing through the air, and then he fell to the ground, clutching his hand. What looked like 3 sausages were lying on the ground. Oh, so she... What? Okay, maybe this isn't Suzuha. I don't know. She, like, chopped up that man? Before they realized that the sausages were the man's fingers, another man went down from a high kick to the head. The men began to howl in rage.
You fucking bitch!
Whoa! They left at the girl swearing, but that was wild. I was not expecting that. One of the men who was trying to attack her from behind suddenly screamed.
Oi, oi. Shizuka ni shina.
Shinoji?
Why
Why do they act like we don't know whose voice this is? I hate that. The game's like, you haven't heard this guy's voice before, so we're gonna put a whole bunch of question marks on it. A huge man came out of the darkness, silhouetted by the moon. Who could it be? No one knows. It's a mystery, really. Wait, is it? Could it? Oh no, it moved somewhere else, so we don't know if that's Tenoji or not. Could it be him? Wow! Wow. Yeah, it's Suzuha, all right. I think, right? It's Suzuha. Was all I could say as I watched these tough men go down one after the other. Wow, Tenoji, that was crazy. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so yeah, it was a plan set up by Okabe. That's what I was thinking. I knew from his size that Tenoji was strong. It was the other girl that really shocked me. Whoa! It was Suzuha! We've never seen that outfit before in our life, and under the quench coat, we could have never known who it was! Oh, wait. No, you're right. I just, thought the whole slicing off the fingers thing was a little... But, Suzuha, I guess, But I never could have figured out it was Suzuha, never in a million years, and that was Tenoji? No way! The question marks totally gave it a... they totally made me not know who it was, even though they used his voice. Her disguise ruined, Suzuha jumped around like a cat. Each time she moved, the men around her quivered. I knew she'd undergone combat training, but I had no idea she was this strong when she was serious. The kicks from her legs, the kicks from her long, lithe legs, were like a work of art.
やるじゃねえかバイト。
店長もね。
The men fell to the ground without even having the time to draw their knives and guns. And I wouldn't be all like, whoa, it's them, if the game wouldn't have put woman there and the game wouldn't have put the question marks there. Because it was pretty obvious who it was. Like in both cases. So I don't know. Oh, did I read that? Knives and guns. Several days earlier, when I realized that the enemy was probably starting to panic, I came up with a plan. Wait. No. You came up... Okay, this was you? Came with the... You called... No way. In the last world line, Moika told me that someone was looking for Kagari. I wonder if that was true in this world line too. So I asked Moika to leak some information for me. Girl matching Kagari Shina's description came down this road at the same time every day. And today, a few days later, they'd all taken the bait. I hung back behind the corner of an alley, watching them fight, and I felt kind of pathetic. It was obvious that not only would I be of no help whatsoever, and actually just get in the way. So it was smarter to leave it to them.
そっちはどう?
Good. I heard Dottie's voice from the earphone on one of my ears. I called him and left the call connected so we could talk at any time.
鈴葉は大丈夫? 怪我してない?
No, your daughter's all good. Yoda had opposed to Suzawa's plan to use herself as a decoy. He must have been worried about putting his daughter in danger. Don't worry, she's a lot more amazing than you realize.
そりゃ僕の娘だからね。でも傷物になんかされたらオカリン一生恨むからな。
He'd be better off worrying about the people she was fighting. What was that? What's that whistle? Huh? I suddenly heard a high-pitched whistle. The signal, the men started to turn and run. They'd realized they'd fallen into a trap and decided to retreat.
おっと、そうはいくかよ。
Oh! Denoji's giant arms grabbed one of the men's hands. But... a gun! There was a hollow popping sound and the man's body went limp. Throw the body at one of the dudes! No way. He was dead? He took his own life?
おじさん、そっち!
Piercing yell brought me back to my senses. One of the men was coming towards the alleyway where I was hiding! Our goal was to capture them and make them tell us who they were working for. If we're gonna do that, all of this would be for nothing! Okay, I ran out in front of the man without even thinking. Okay, this is gonna be good. My sudden appearance caused him to hesitate for a moment, but he kept charging without dropping his speed. I saw that he was holding on to something shiny near his waist. Just as he hit me, Suzawa slammed into him with a jump kick.
おっと!
Make sure he can't shoot this time. The kick knocked him directly into Noji's waiting arms. Noji caught him easily, then spun the man's arms around his back so he couldn't hurt himself.
おじさん、怪我は?
Nah, I'm fine.
大丈夫?
Yeah, I'm fine. There's just a lot of, blood coming out. I'm fine.
オカリン、どうした?何があった?
It's good. Nothing to worry about, Dottie. Just tis a flesh wound. Don't worry, everyone's safe. Suzawa, did we get him? That's yes. Something like a scream came out from his mouth. At some point, Tenoji had slammed what looked like a towel into him. He was probably trying to keep from killing himself like the last guy.
おいおい、あんまり暴れるんじゃねえよ。騒ぎに、それにまだ1本目だぜ。情けねえ。あとまだ9本も残ってる。それが終わったら目だ。それから両方の耳、鼻。まだまだお楽しみはいっぱいあるんだぜ。
His voice was cold. This was the real Tenoji. This was FB. I went to look away, but Suzawa was watching without flinching in the slightest.
俺だって面倒な真似はしたくねえ。どうせ吐くんなら早めに吐いた方がお互いのためだ。ん?どうだ?もう一本行くか。
The man shook his head violently.
最初からそうすりゃいいんだよ。で、おめえさんたちの元締めは
Tenoji took the towel out of the man's mouth. He said something in a whisper so small I couldn't hear it. Tenoji's pallor suddenly changed.
ストラト4? おい、冗談じゃねえだろな。
The man desperately shook his head again.
ストラト4か。また面倒な奴らが。
Strat 4. I'd heard of them. Back when I was into conspiracy theories, I'd looked them up on the internet. Their real name was Strategic Focus, I think. They were an American civilian intelligence company, sometimes called the Shadow CIA. They specialized in military matters, and their skills had supposedly been put to good use during the Iraq and Gulf Wars. If a certain rounder like Tenoji said they were a problem, they probably were. This wasn't going to be easy. But now wasn't a time for being scared. You hear that, Doria? Start hacking Stat4's servers right now.
Okie dokie!
I felt myself starting to relax after I completed my first objective. But there wasn't time for that. This was where things really began.
どうしたの店長。何か気にかかることでも。
いや、ストラト4といや民間の会社だぜ。
Man, this is starting to get really serious now. I'm getting into it. You know, it's getting good. Oh, I feel like I'm actually like in it, you know?
いわば金によって雇われてる連中だ。そんな奴らがいくら捕まったからって自決までするか？
It did seem strange, come to think of it.
おい、おめえ本当に
Tenoji tried to wring the man's neck again, but
気を失ってやがる。だらしねえやつだ。
Tenoji sighed and took out a rope, then started to tie him up.
後始末は俺に任せて、おめえらは行け。
You sure?
これで終わりじゃねえんだろ。
I was a little curious what he intended to do with them, but alright, we'll let you take care of it. I had other priorities right now. I said my thanks to Tenoji and hurried to the lab with Suzawa.
おじさん、早く。
I feel like we're actually in like the middle of an investigation right now. This is so cool. I know. Suzawa ran through the night like a panther. It was all I could do to keep up. The path to the lab seemed for far longer than it usually did. We finally made it to the lab. Maori, Faris, and everyone else were already there waiting. And Gagari, too. Gagari was lying on the couch in obvious pain. Her breathing was shallow. Her complexion was pale. Something bad could happen to her at any moment. Claudia, how's it going?
ちょい待ち。前にハッキングかけた時のルートがあるから今探ってる。
That just a moment might take a little longer for you guys, though. I'm sorry, but we're going to end the part there. I know we said longer parts, but you know how it is and all that stuff, and I had to fix everything and everything. Because the thing is, it went longer than I expected it to for me, so, you know, how it is. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like if you enjoyed, subscribe for some more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!